I am so excited to have this special friend with me today, Judy West Allen. Now, she is a McGee girl. I got to tell you, she's one that I've known. We were in high school together, although she is a little younger than me. I will say that. 1 year. 1 year. But one thing I do have to tell you about her, beside the fact that she is a breast cancer survivor, is that she could twirl a baton like no woman I've ever seen in all my life. She twirled at McGee High School, and she went right on to Mississippi State. And you were the top queen of the batons.
I'm telling you, I was really the one.
You were. And giving lessons to everybody everywhere. Judy and I have reconnected over the years, but it was very interesting to me when we talked, and we were talking about breast cancer awareness, and she said, I have a story I want to tell. Well, I had no idea that Judy even had breast cancer. So when we did talk, it was one of the reasons I wanted her to come on MageeNews News was because she's not your normal breast cancer person. And I'm sure you wonder what that means. But Judy, tell us about how you found out and how people need to be aware.
Okay, the first thing that happened to me is I noticed that I'd turned over and I had this sore spot. So, and then I thought, well, I hit something. So the next couple of days, I started feeling this swelling. So I had this real swollen breast and went to the doctor, and it looks like an infection. So this type cancer masked as an infection. So they sent me down because I already had a mammogram in December. This was in February. Had a mammogram, they didn't see anything. Had a sonogram, it doesn't show up on the sonogram. So we took the antibiotics, it went down a little, but it comes right back up. Then the next thing I had was a needle biopsy, and that did not show anything. So I was planning a shower for my nephew, no big hurry, this is no big deal. And finally the surgeon said, well, let's just do a biopsy to be sure. And this is what is another amazing thing. I went to St. Dominic's. The first thing, they didn't think it was anything. The surgeon came back in, he said, looks fine. And the guy took one more look, and it was inflammatory breast cancer, which is a rare type breast cancer. It's like 1 to 5% get it. When you are diagnosed, it's stage 3B, which means, when you get to 4, it's real serious. It's gone to other organs. When I had my treatment, I ended up going to MD Anderson. They said go straight, because the guy that found it, he said he'd been a doctor 32 years. He had seen this. This was his 5th case. The first 3 died. The next one was in a clinical trial in Houston and was still living. So we went over there, and I ended up having to have 6 rounds of chemo. Then I had surgery. And at that point, I had 25 lymph nodes positive. So we had to do another 6 rounds of chemo. Then after that little fun trip, I had to have 48 radiation treatments.
Oh my gosh, it's a wonder it didn't burn you to death.
It did at the end. But the whole thing is, I just thought, I don't know why I'm here. I just want people to be sure that if you have something like that, don't believe that it may not be anything but an infection, but if you get something that your breast swells, take it seriously and find out. Really be aggressive with it, because I was not aggressive, I'm just blessed. Because I don't know why I'm here.
Well, I think it would be so easy for even a doctor, not meaning wrong, they just don't see it.
They don't know about it. I mean, the guy that I went to I was at a nurse practitioner, and he was going, my God, and he was really, upset about it, but he didn't know. And they hadn't seen anything else. I still go to that clinic. They've never seen it again.
How often are you checked?
I was, every 3 months for years, and then now I go in November. I go once a year.
So how long has it been?
I was diagnosed in June of 2002. And MD Anderson gave me a diploma 2 years ago.
Really?
Yes, and I have it framed, and it says I'm a survivor.
Isn't that something?
But if anybody in McGee, if you ever get breast cancer, I do work with MD Anderson. I talk with folks about, breast cancer, my experiences, and try to help people, and I'd be glad to help anybody.
And that's wonderful. I tell you, you are such a blessing to us, and
Thank
it's
you,
such
Sue,
a
for
blessing.
having me.
Well, I mean, it just was so fascinating, and I hate to use that word, loosely with that. And then when I read about it and saw, because you had said be sure and Google it, and I thought, well, you know me, I'll never get time, but I did Google it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Judy is alive,
Yeah.
because I mean,
at that point, I did read the internet briefly.
oh yeah,
And I just said, I can't read this because
I'm like that. I don't read if I get something wrong.
I mean,
with me.
it's like I'm not going to live. I'm just going to go ahead and do
That's
it.
basically what it's saying. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
But be aware of your body. And I think that's something that we miss as women or even men, that be aware of your body. Thank you so much for coming, and I love you.
I appreciate it.
And I know that you at MageeNews.com listeners, in case you need to get in contact with Judy, if you'll just contact Sue at MageeNews.com, I'll hook you up with Judy. And I hope you'll have a great week.
Thank you.